What's going on, Saltwater Gear Reviews? Guys, welcome back to the channel. We have had an amazing thing come in the mail really recently for us. A box full of Okuma surprises and some reels that we get to go through with you guys. We've done a handful of these gear videos on some of these Okuma reels and some of the rods, and on this channel we go over a plethora of different gear and saltwater gear reviews. But today we're here to talk to you about the Alijos 12n, and it's the 2-speed version, which is really nice and cool. So we'll talk to you guys about the application we're going to be using these reels for. We'll be using them for a couple different things, how we plan to spool them, how much line this thing holds, etc., etc. But at the beginning of the video, let's go straight into the spec sheet, talk about what this reel can do on paper, and then we're going to spool it up, put it to the test, and see exactly what this thing can do as like a little bit of a home test. So what do we got for the spec sheet, man?
We're looking at 6+1 bearings with the gear ratio. In the high, you got 6.4 to 1, and low, you got 2.1 to 1. So that means 48.4 inches, aka 123 centimeters in high speed, 15.7 inches and 40 centimeters in low speed. So that's a big difference there.
48 inches per handle crank?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And then 15.7 is not a lot. So that torque conversion is going to be absolutely insane.
If you need to wrench them, you got it.
Yeah. For the weight of the reel itself, it's 27.5 ounces, 780 grams. And then on your drag wise, you've got 34 pounds at full and 27 pounds at strike. And now that is supposedly your preset's maxed out on that. So we're gonna test those numbers.
We're gonna put it into the test.
And as y'all saw, we did a video on the Kavala, and that reel produced more than the advertised numbers. So we will see how we do there.
Don't worry, we will test it.
Line capacity, you're looking at 20-pound mono, 350 yards, 0.42 millimeter braid, you're looking at 300 yards. In comparison, 0.42 millimeters is roughly 65-pound Power Pro. So you're going to fit about 300 yards on there. 0.48 millimeters, 200-pound. I mean, not 200-pound. 0.48 millimeters, you got 200 yards. 25-pound mono, 250 yards. 30-pound mono, 200 yards. 0.55, 150 yards. I don't know what you would be doing with.
It's weird how some of these companies do this. It's weird how some of these companies do this because they're talking about 65 pound at 300 yards. Maybe you're going to go up to 80 and just get 200 for like some really shallow, like rip and get style of fishing. Yeah. But like, I want to know, is it holds 400 yards of 50-pound braid or not? So that's what we're going to spool one of these guys up with 50-pound braid today. I do think it's weird that they tell you 150 yards is, but whatever.
I also don't know what you would be using 100 to 130-pound braid for on this reel.
On the 12N. Yeah. So let's get this thing straight out of the box. That way we can kind of put the spec sheet in comparison with you guys, what we got. So we're going to pop this thing right open. Don't forget to read the instruction manual. Blaine, can you read the instruction manual for it? No, I'm just kidding. Imagine like they're like, are you serious? All right. So right here, coming straight out of the box here, in the flesh, in the plastic, we have the Alijos. The Alijos, by the way, is basically just a mini Macaira. Like these things pack a freaking punch. And they're built just like the Macairas. They feel just like the Macairas. And I'm pretty sure these guys come with harness lugs, no? We'll talk about that in a second.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure they come with harness lugs, which is pretty sick. Just in case you ever go tuna fishing with this little guy and you hook into that one that you can't hold anymore. So right off the bat, like I said, it feels like a Macaira. We have plenty of the Macaira series reels. We have the 50s with the 50 wide. We've used the 80 wides before. We have the 16s for tuna fishing as well. This thing, beefy, like we talked about, it's like what, 27.5 ounces. So it's not on the heavy side, but it's not on the light side either. But that's because you're getting a well-constructed reel that can put out 35 pounds of drag at full on the box right out of the deal. So first and foremost, you know, you've got a normal size handle arm. You've got a really overbuilt size T-handle here, so it fits in your hand really nice, even though this reel is on the smaller side of the spectrum. Your handle arm's really going to turn. We got the gunmetals here. I think all the Alijos come in this color, right? So you've got this gunmetal side. You've got a black spool on the inside. You've got a black handle arm, and then you've got the black T-handle right here as well. Everything is just super buttery smooth. The best thing you can talk about the Alijos and the Macairas is this feedback.
Yep.
Very quiet. Very smooth reel. The internals are really well made. And we've said it a lot, and we say it again. Okuma probably makes one of the best engineered reels on the market, especially when we're talking about the Makaira series stuff, but even down to the Alijos. These reels are just, the internals and the way they are made is the best on the market. It's not really up for discussion. The problem is a lot of people don't know about these reels, which is why we're reviewing them today. So the Alijos, for those of you who don't know too, have an excellent free spool casting system. So you can actually use these things like we talked about. Our application will be for jigging, but we're also going to put some of these guys on 7-foot, 7'6" rods, maybe do some throwing swim baits. We might throw some different jigs and stuff like that. And so the free spool mechanism is really nice. They're actually meant for casting, so you could use them for surf casting and for cast out for sharks and stuff like that. And then they even have a I don't know what this thing is called.
It's a casting function. It's basically
it's like a mag function, a casting dial on the side of sorts. But yeah, it's to give you some tension and be able to like really tune this thing into whatever size thing you're throwing. Most of the time, I feel like even if we're throwing swim baits with this thing, it's going to be just a real nice pitch out, let it sink way down, and then give that swim bait a nice work down. I don't think we'll be doing it, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe we're not big casting yet. So, but I don't know. What do you think, man? Off the bat. Oh, the clicker. Turn the clicker on. We haven't done the clicker. Oh, it's in the tires.
It's like the any of y'all that have had the 15s and the 15Ts, they have the same clicker as these.
Yeah, but they're not like up to like the 16s and the 20s and the 50s and the 30s and stuff.
You get a little bit different. I love the fact that even this small reel has the harness lugs on there.
And they're built backwards a little
interchangeable. You just take them out and pop new ones, and they come in the box as well.
Yeah, let's see what we got in the box. What are you doing? Right.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's got the Makaira preset knob, which is super nice grooves. You can really grip it well.
And then the 2-speed function is just, it's really well built. Come with a little bit of grease in the box. Come with your rod clamp, and then here's your harness lugs. Function. Take the side plates off, slide them in, slide them out, and you can all of a sudden have a 12 with harness lugs. I don't know. Do you think we'll put harness lugs on it?
I don't know. I think that's something that we'll decide.
After we
I don't know if 50-pound braid will need harness lugs necessarily.
Get the harness, yeah.
But overall, just kind of going through my mind right now, based on what you would use this as applications, obviously you can use it like we're about to use it, casting with swim baits and stuff like that. But also, this would be a fantastic kayak reel or boat reel for bottom fishing.
Some big game stuff.
For big snapper, big amberjack, that kind of stuff. I mean, you throw 200 yards of 80 on here.
Dude, snapper fishing on the boat, that thing would be a stud.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all you ever need.
65 to 80-pound braid. Using that 80-pound braid and you fit 200 yards on there, you're definitely going to be able to rip an amberjack out of a wreck.
That's for sure.
Easily.
Yeah. And you're not having to use 50 wides like some guys will use for big snapper. You're using a reel that you can actually put in your hands and really work a rod with.
This would be a fantastic option for, speed jigging too. Get that amberjack down there. He's really dogging you. Throw it in single speed and just rip him out of there.
Really crank him out. I think that's what we're going to use this thing too, somewhat for, is for some speed jigging as well. So, and then as far as the specs go on the drag, we've got our second one here. For those of you who do not know, when you mess with a conventional reel, you can never mess with your preset not in free spool. It has to be in free spool to mess with your preset, and none of these reels, no lever drag on the market, will come in the box set at the max. So what you need to do is you need to spool these guys up like we're going to do here in a little bit, and then you need to go to strike, put it on a scale. If you're snapper fishing, I would say 15 pounds of drag would be a lot at strike. And then you have, the nice thing about Okumas is if you have 15 pounds at strike, you probably have 25 pounds at full. There's a really high significant jump from strike to full to allow you to really fish your reel at a capable side without having to maximize it up. Whereas like maybe with another reel like the Shimano Tiagros or something like that, if you get 15 pounds at strike, you're going to get 19 pounds at full. The ramp isn't that high. So when you set this reel, make sure you put it in free spool to mess with your preset, and then after you spool it up, go ahead and know exactly what you want to do. We'll probably set these things for jigging at like 17 pounds at strike, depending on what we get at full. And I wouldn't maximize probably over like 25 pounds at full. So maybe what even ever 25 pounds at full, if it's 14 pounds at strike, that's what it is. You hook that tuna, it starts dogging you for some reason, you can just boop, 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 and really wrench down on that fish. So, all right, Blaine, let's get some 50-pound tightline on these reels and see how much they hold, and then let's see what they pull.
Yeah.
So we got this guy spooled up right here with 50-pound tightline braid. Now, like we talked about on the backside, oh, I just smacked the freaking thing. Like we talked about on the backside of the box, we got about 350, 375 yards or so of 50-pound tightline braid on here. She is really slap full, but we didn't want to do any top shot for as far as casting and stuff like that goes. So what we're going to do now with her slap full of 50-pound tightline braid is basically test out that 27 pounds at strike and 34 pounds at full, and just really see what this reel can do as a really, controlled test here at the house. It is on the Black Hole 5'2", a little custom 250-gram jigging rod. We've used this rod a lot for jigging offshore, mainly for yellowfin tuna. Done a few amberjack and like snapper trips with it, but mainly yellowfin tuna and blackfin tuna jigging off the boat offshore here in the Gulf of Mexico. So maybe one of these days we'll do a review on these Black Hole rods as well. But that's what we're gonna do for the test at home. So let's break out the scale, let's tie this girl up and see what this thing can do. .6. I'll hold it tight so you can reel me up a little bit. So we're getting close to that 27 pounds. There we go, 27.6. So that right there, don't change the preset. That right there is the max that the box says. So 27.6 pounds, basically. So we're gonna see what this thing can do at full. And if it's 34 at full. Or is it better? Or is it worse? Like, you're about to go flying through the window, worse. Oh, real slow load. 34.4, 35. Let's go.
Jeez.
All right.
It's a lot of muscle.
So it does it. 35 pounds at full, 27.5 pounds at strike. So that's pretty nuts for a, I mean, look at the size of this reel. It just put out 35 pounds of drag, and it has 50-pound braid on there. So let's, no, I don't want to. If we were in the backyard or something, we're just going to call it. Oh, let's go ahead and set it at 15 pounds. 15 at strike, and then see what we have at full. All right, we're gonna set it for our application now, for normal people fishing. That's 19 pounds. 16.6.
I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. What do we got at full?
All of it.
I'm gonna guess like 27. Yep. That's at full?
Yep.
23 pounds. That's plenty. That's plenty for us.
We're getting to that.
All right, y'all. So 2 Alijos 12Ns. Probably what we'll do is spool both of them up with 50-pound tightline braid. Like we said, a little bit of casting, a little bit of jigging. And these reels pack a freaking punch. Any really Okuma in the high-end market, Alijos or Makaira, really packs a little punch, especially for the size of reel that it is. So overall, so far, super impressed with this reel. But if you guys want to see these reels in action on the water, on fish, go over to our main channel, Coastal Worldwide. So this is just our gear review channel. We do a main fishing channel where we travel around the country, hopefully soon around the world, to do some epic fishing and some cool fishing in our local area as well. And we'll be putting these guys, no doubt, to the test very, very soon on the water. So if you want to see these guys in action, go check it out. But as far as the first unboxing, first in our hands goes, these things are pretty epic. Everything so far lives up to the hype and the spec sheet. So let's see what they can do out there, man. You end it.
No, you.
No, you end it. See you guys next time.